What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you, back on FantasyPros with a 12-team full PPR mock where we will be drafting 6th overall, right smack dab in the middle of it all. So it should be pretty interesting. Our roster, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. Same as usual, but that's pretty much it. So we can get right into this thing. And while we wait for it to load, a quick reminder, if you guys enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at alldaypigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comment section. Do you agree, disagree, along with any other questions you guys might have? We will do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let's kick this thing off. The first 5 picks have been made. They are as follows: Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley, and Jamar Chase. So here, we're in the middle of this thing, kind of an inflection point, and we can do one of 2 things. Do we go running back? Do we go wide receiver? I'm not going the tight end route. We'll do some mocks in the future where we do that. But here it's basically between a Bijan Robinson and a Jonathan Taylor at running back. And then if we go wide receiver, there's only one name I'm considering, that is Cooper Kupp. So I personally believe that the better value here remains running back. I think Bijan Robinson at the 106 is really, really good value. I think he provides a little bit better pass catching ability than a Jonathan Taylor. So I lean him. Otherwise, it would be wide receiver, but I feel like we've done a couple of those variations here as of late. So let's go back to all those, early running back draft lovers out there, even though it seems like there's fewer and fewer by the day. This one's for all you guys. We're going Bijan Robinson here at the 106. I think it's good value. And then we'll see what happens in the second round if there's some really good players that fall to us. And immediately, I think there are, but let's see what kind of precipitated that. So after we went Bijan, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, okay, not a huge shock. Ramondre Stevenson at the 109, ahead of guys like Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, Nick Chubb. That's surprising. Not going to lie on that one. Travis Kelce goes at the 111. Tony Pollard with the last pick in the first round, followed by Nick Chubb. I really like that start in terms of those 2 running backs being paired there. Then Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, followed by 3 straight wide receivers because there was value. Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams. Now, personally, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, I like both those guys. I think that A.J. Brown is better suited for standard scoring formats. I would have Devontae Adams ranked ahead of him. I would also have CeeDee Lamb ranked ahead of him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, arguably as well. Here, I'm going with, my next highest ranked wide receiver. For me, that's easily CeeDee Lamb. So I feel good about this selection. We're starting this thing out pretty balanced, running back, wide receiver. I would argue a high-end, top-notch running back and a high-end, top-notch wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb and Bijan Robinson both kind of fit the bill there. So immediately afterwards, Amon-Ra St. Brown, followed by Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Garrett Wilson, Joe Mixon. And I think this is the perfect example here. I continue to try and show you guys mocks across many different platforms so that I can expose differences in ADPs and so that you guys can be aware. Joe Mixon going at the end of the second round here as opposed to like in the 4th or 5th round elsewhere. So keep track of situations like that. Mark Andrews then kicks off the 3rd, followed by Breece Hall, Jalen Waddle. Would have loved Jalen Waddle to follow me. Doesn't happen. Oh well. T. Higgins, Jahmyr Gibbs. So now we're in a pretty similar, situation where we often find ourselves in the middle of the 3rd round. And that's, staring down Chris Olave, which is he's period one of my favorite 3rd round wide receivers. In fact, when we kind of break down our favorite players or best pick by round, I think Chris Olave is going to be the guy for the 3rd round selection. And I'm not steering away from that. I'm doubling down on it, in fact, and then I'll see what we can do in the 4th round with running backs. If we can get something that I like, if not, we can look elsewhere. So going at the draft board, as soon as we went Olave, Keenan Allen, Devonta Smith, Miles Sanders, Aaron Jones. I love the Miles Sanders hype. I thought I could get him in the 4th round. Doesn't ultimately happen. Aaron Jones, DK Metcalf, J.K. Dobbins, Calvin Ridley at the start of the 4th, Amari Cooper, Hawk, Kittle. So a little bit of an early tight end run here. Didn't really expect it, but it's not the end of the world. There's still other tight ends out there. Patrick Mahomes. See, this is what I mean here. Patrick Mahomes, this is kind of where I believe he should be going. In larger leagues, you can make the argument in smaller 10-team leagues. It's nice to get the positional advantage, but I've seen, a quarterback being selected in the first round at the start of the second in those type of leagues. That should not happen. Here, if I was making every single pick for these teams, this is kind of where the quarterback run would start for me. So I like that, even though it's, I guess, computers making these selections, I think it's very analytically correct. So right now, I think the best value at running back here's Kenneth Walker. I do have concerns about potential injuries, about Charbonnet as well, but I think Kenneth Walker here makes sense. And then maybe in the later rounds, we go with like an Alvin Kamara, something like that, James Conner, even though we're going to have to spend up earlier on him. However, I think right now in the fourth round, I don't mind taking Kenneth Walker. Last year, when he was playing, when he was healthy, he was getting the job done. So I will stick with that here, and let's again see what has taken place. Jalen Hurts immediately afterwards. Sure, the top tier quarterbacks going in the fourth round: DeAndre Swift, Darren Waller, Josh Allen, top three quarterbacks. Then some wide receivers: Godwin, Debo, Judy, Terry, Kyle Pitts, Alexander Madison. So here we're in a situation where we could go another running back. We can go a top-notch wide receiver. I like DJ Moore. I think he's a solid flex play out of all these guys. Marquise Brown, I do have ranked higher than him, but I think Marquise Brown can drop to us in the next round. So I have those guys ranked pretty closely together. And then, like I said, we can wait on running back, hopefully. We'll see if that backfires or not, but let's kind of see how many selections we have. Well, actually, we're in the middle, so it doesn't really matter too much. I'm going to go DJ Moore here. So we're getting another young, high upside, wide receiver. And that's really so far kind of the MO of this team: young, high upside players. So I like the look at this thing. I'm probably going to go Alvin Kamara here. I want to get that depth at the running back position. I think he's by far and away the best running back available. I could go quarterback, but I think getting Kamara here for what could be a late season push is going to be very important. So let's do that. We got him as a flex play. I don't care if you tell me it's a reach. I'm going to agree to disagree here. Ooh, we get sniped on our boy Marquise Brown. But oh well, it happens. We actually still have a guy that I really like at the quarterback position, Trevor Lawrence. So, I was hoping one of those top-notch quarterbacks would fall to us. We get lucky. Lawrence is still there. Wide receiver-wise, Pittman is tempting, I'm not going to lie, but let's at this point in time, go get that quarterback finally. My next highest ranked quarterback, I think there's going to be a quarterback run. I was correct. I think we saw three other quarterbacks be drafted after, Dak, Tua, and Deshaun. Sandwiched in there, a couple wide receivers we like: Pittman, Jordan Addison. So now, we're kind of in a situation where we can go best player available. We really are. I'm looking at the guys here. I think Samaje Perine is also a really good value if you are nervous about the health of one Javonte Williams. So I think he's a very good value here. Let's add him to the squad and then continue to build out the roster. And I think arguably when you get to this point, it's tough to really call anyone a reach. So I'm not paying too much attention to this here. Tight end, I can continue to wait on tight end. I'm not all that worried about it. We've gotten to that point in time where we can wait. I'm looking at wide receivers now. I'm a fan of Elijah Moore. I think that he could be something special in Cleveland personally. To me, I think he could potentially be that number 2. So I'm going to go Elijah Moore, continue to add wide receiver depth. I like Allen Lazard as well. So here, another number 2 wide receiver that we need. Let's see where we're looking at tight end. I do like Greg Dulcich. I think the majority of people have tight ends at this point in time. So I'm just going to load up on guys that I like, that I think are good values. Ooh, Jameson Williams here coming off a suspension. I don't mind that. I really don't. I think that could be good value. So here, I'm probably looking at Schultz or Greg Dulcich, but let's get a little greedy here. I think Jameson Williams is a really intriguing wide receiver once he comes back from his suspension. So we go that way. Greg Dulcich did get drafted. That's all right. We're going Dalton Schultz here. I feel comfortable with him. You know, he's only a year removed from having a really good season. I think he's going to be one of the focal points here for the Texans. So that kind of rounds out our roster. Let's see the draft grade we get, but I feel pretty good about it. Yeah, we get a solid B, 85 out of 100. I like your quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, high upside guy. I mean, we got Bijan, top 5 running back. We got Kenneth Walker at a really good value. Got good value on CD, on Olave, DJ Moore as well. And then our bench is stacked. Kamara, Pirine, Moore, Allen Lazard, Jameson Williams. I think this is one of the best benches we've gotten. And you know, this is what will happen when you're drafting kind of in the middle of these rounds, because the value really does fall to you, and you can take advantage of that. Tight end could be a little bit better, but oh well. I think we can make do with Dalton Schultz. However, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Do you agree, disagree, along with any other questions you guys might have? We'll do our best to answer them all. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.